How about now? Now you can hear. Is it too loud? Excuse me while I eat a little bit of my lunch too. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Live from the wHobbit house. Woohoo! Perfect now. Okay, great. Excellent. So here near wHobbit town, we have a Hawaiian food bowling alley. It's delicious. Oh, Mark bagging on the Mac, huh? Oh man, how you guys doing? Just waiting for it for what was I gonna do? All right, let's see. What do we got here? Justin Z was first. Good job, man. All right, thanks for subscribing. We can do the thing. We can do. How about this one? Yes, it worked. I just have to get this Streamlabs thing off of here. I bet you if I set up my phone somehow, I could get it to be off of there. So that's next. That's the next step, okay? We got an intro screen today. That's a big deal. Right? All right, how's everybody doing? So what are you guys working on? I've been up here working on the Hobbit house, obviously. Let's see if I can see the chat. Yes, I can. Excellent. It's that time again. So these are the squirrels need Michigan helmets. Yes, they do, Matt. Yes, they do. All right. Silent Hobbit. Thank you, Viter, for loving the streams. Let's see. Thanks for the fast shipping on the 2 DrZzs. Excellent, Jason. Glad you got them. So we are going to have quads this week. We will get them this week. D-Bet's 4-inch RGBW soffit lights. What you need? What do you need? What do you need? In major need of a new LED project ideas. What you got? Oh, George Collins, what you got? Have you done crown molding? Have you done the indirect lights going up? Those are pretty cool. You know what I've got back at the house that I need to work on is a sound reactive matrix. So I've got a matrix that I made a long time ago, and I haven't really updated the controller on it in a bit. I need to do that because it's a good matrix. It's not huge, you know, but it's enough to see some colors, and we could probably put some text on there if we wanted. But the version of WLED, that does the audio reactive stuff also has effects specifically made for matrix. And of course, then you can get X lights and we can do fun things on the matrix with that. So thank you very much, somebody, for subscribing or something. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the crown molding lights. Oh, really? Oh, very well. The other one that we were talking about is the cloud. You know, people do the cloud thing. Indicator lights. We were talking about indicator lights. So putting, lights that do certain sounds at certain times that indicate if somebody's home or gone or if the garbage is out or those kinds of things. Those aren't super cool, but they're useful. I really want one of those cubes. I want one of those 3D LED cubes, you know? What do you think about that? I want one of those and just see what you can do with that. The Matrix sound reactive idea? Excellent. All right, George, you're on it. Home base. All right, I'm on time. Yes, you are. I learned about I²C and added 2 sensors in my outside lights. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Don't forget to show off the LED command. Yeah, let's do that right now. Let's do that right now, Blade. Thank you for the reminder. Dig Quads will be back in stock this week. Dig Unos will be back in stock not long after. All right, let's do something fun here. And this is all thanks to Blade. Let's show all this conversation that we have, all of our secrets, all of our secrets. All right, if you go to like the general channel in Discord, okay? Everybody go to the general channel in Discord. Oh gosh, what is this? Got it, okay. Go to the general channel in Discord. Nothing secret here. And if you go and do, what is it you do, Blade? You do LED? No, it was something else. Let's see. I'll read what Blade said, actually, instead of just trying to guess. He's got the command here. There's my new dance. Yeehaw. All right. Oh, it's tilde. That's why. It's this guy. And tilde list. Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to go back here. And we're going to go tilde, LED, and list. And then it's going to tell us those are the kinds of LEDs that the bot understands. Okay. Oh, thanks. Then, yes, you can go tilde and you go LED. And then you put in like what you're going to use. So let's say we're going to use, most of the time, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be WS2811-12. That's the voltage. Or so WS2811-12 is 12 volts. And then you say how many you're going to put in, right? So if you're going to say 300, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of information. Look at this. It's going to tell you, does it have a dedicated white channel? No. What is the theoretical wattage of the pixels? 0.72, that must be per pixel. Theoretical amperage per pixel, because they're 12 volts, so 0.06, and those are on the high end. Tested wattage, 0.326, and tested amperage, that's awesome. Then it gives you your pixel count, the max amps tested, the max watts tested, the average amps tested, and the average watts tested. Blade is a bleeping genius. Isn't that cool? So what you got to put in there, so you do the tilde LED, and then a space, and then whichever kinds of LEDs you're using. So it's all kind of one sentence, Moria. It's all kind of one sentence. So you put in the tilde, LED, space, and then the kind of LED you're using. Most of the time it's going to be WS2811s or 12s. And it's going to be, so it'll be either WS2812B or probably 11s at 12 volts or 11s at 5 volts for most people. Although I have seen a lot of people using WS2815s lately. So it could be 15s. SK6812s are another good one because they have a white channel. So a lot of people use those. And then another space. And then you put in the number that you're going to use. So there you go. Snowman's got it. So Snowman says he's going to use WS2811-12 and then 500 of them. Pretty sweet, right? That is amazing. That is such a cool tool. So fun, so easy. So everyone, thank Blade, the bot master extraordinaire. We are so happy to have him as part of our community. Blade, you are a superstar, my friend. Thank you. Now, I hope that I told everybody to go do that right now doesn't break it. Did I miss anything? Was there anything else in there, Blade, that I didn't... Why not have it on a separate thread? Let's see. I'm in need of 1 or 2 ditch Unos with external antenna. Anyone have some extras? New baby coming in 2 weeks, trying to finish up the lights. Animatronic, I don't know... I'd have to check and see what I have. I probably do have some spares, even though it says I think everything's out of stock. I probably do have some spares, but I'd have to go through what we got and find out. And coming up with the time to do that is always the tricky part. But I probably do have some. Do you need the whole Unos? You need the whole Unos with external antennas. Okay. I will have some soon, but not yet. Probably the quads will come this week, and then the Unos... I don't know, hopefully the next week, I guess, which is going to be Thanksgiving. But what gauge power wire for injecting at 30 feet from a power source or 12 volt 2011? Michael, you're very safe to use 18 gauge. If 18 is too big or you don't have any and you have 20, that's a pretty good option. I wouldn't go any smaller than 20, and I wouldn't go any bigger than 18 for pretty much any of this LED project stuff. It'd be pretty rare the times that you would need to use like 16 gauge. And also very rare in a time that you would want to use something less than 20. So 22 maybe, if you had no other options. So 18 or 20, pretty much everything. You're gonna go 14? Ooh, interesting thing came up. Interesting thing. You guys might want to hear about this. My friend who was a nurse that I worked with that I was helping her and her husband put up their lights or fix. I was helping them problem solve an issue that they had, and they had some flickering, and we were trying to figure out what the flickering was, what was going on with the flickering. Anyways, he had used 14 gauge Romex, so it's just solid, Romex, and I don't know what it was about it. Maybe he had used the 2 wires in the ground, and maybe he used the ground as ground or something. I don't know exactly what it was about the Romex, but when he replaced the Romex with some stranded wire that was, I don't know, it's probably 18 gauge, I don't know. But when he replaced his Romex with some stranded wires, the flickering went away. That was it. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's some sort of induction thing happening, or maybe the Romex was in a loop, or I don't know what was going on. But yeah, interesting. That was not something I would have guessed. What if you're going 100 feet, then 16? I guess if you're going far, the problem when you get into 16, Jason, is just making the connections at the ends. If you're just like twist tying things together, if you're like doing wire nuts or something, then you can still get away with 16. But if you're trying to take a 16 gauge wire and stuff it in the screw terminal connectors on a DrZz, you're gonna have trouble. I don't. 16 should be fine. Let's see, Michael, is 16 gauge landscape lighting okay to use? I'm sure it would be fine. I don't know, like I said, about that Romex thing. I don't know what the issue was there. I would not have guessed that would have caused a problem. So I don't really know what to tell you about why that would have been a problem. But in general, if you're going outdoors and you're not going to have it protected somehow, then you definitely want some kind of a coating on it. A lot of these come in PVC. I actually bought some wire the other day. I'm gonna go to Amazon and show you. I actually bought some wire the other day that was, let's see if I can just open up a new window here. I actually went to Amazon, bought some wire that I'm gonna try out. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna try it out. It's always streaming on this laptop is always so tricky because, there's no filtering. I can't put something on one screen and then not have it on both screens. Look at this wire. This is a 18-2 plus a 14 gauge ground. And here's my thinking. I bought this roll of 200 feet of this. I don't even think I need 10 feet of it, but I bought this because I was gonna try experimenting with this issue that we've come up with of being more than 10 feet from the controller. So if you've gone more than 10 feet from your controller before you get to your first pixel, you may have run into some flickering. And I think on the first version of the Unos and Quads, that wasn't the case. But because of some design choices, that now happens occasionally. One of the first things you can try and do to fix it is to separate the data wire from the plus and minus wire. So typically, if we've got three, there's that flat cable, kind of looks like a ribbon cable. You can get it in 18 or 20 gauge, and it probably smaller, but most of the time 18 or 20. And it's three cables next to each other, and it works real nice because the order of the cables is power, data, ground, and that's the order that you put them into the controller and the order that you put them into the LEDs. So it's nice cable, but they're kind of fused together a little bit. Or there's also cable like what I'm showing here that has three wires that are all bundled together in one PVC coating, right? So if you use a wire like that, a cable that has three conductors in it, and the data is bound together with the plus and minus, you may get flickering if you're beyond about 10 feet. The first thing to try before you buy a booster board, which is the ultimate fix, but before you buy another thing, the thing to try is to separate the data wire from the other two wires. Just physically separate them, pull them apart and physically separate them and see if that does it, okay? That was why I bought this, because this cable has this very large data wire, or I would use the white one as the data. It's a very large data wire and it's separate. Or if you use the ground as the ground, that might be fine too, because having the data further away from the ground is, from what Quindor is saying, is the fix for that as well. So interesting. I've got this. I've got 200 feet of it at home. We'll have to do an experiment at some point and see if that really fixes the problem or not. Probably people are saying, can I have a link? Send a link. Send a link. So I'm going to send a link. Right? Link please. Link please. Boop. Boop. Do I have a title for today's stream other than the last week? Yeah, let's change the title for today's stream. I was going to talk about, I was going to try and see, and I didn't actually have time to get it going, but I was going to try and see if I could hook up the Home Assistant for the wHobbit hole, but probably not. I don't know. Let's kind of go through, what do you guys want to, we only can stream for an hour today, so we're already down to where we're going to only have about 40 minutes left, because I got a couple things I got to get done before we head out of here for the day. So if I stream all the way till 4, then basically the kids and Janice are in the car as I'm finishing up, so I got to try and get done a little early. Whatever you think, Sir Good Enough. Something about LEDs, of course, and live from the wHobbit hole, or who knows, whatever. I was going to talk about a couple of the things that I'm working on up here, but I'm certainly always happy we can go through whatever questions or concerns or issues people are having. So remind me, I will talk about what I'm doing up here currently, which is a lot of lighting stuff still, but I'm so close to being done. And it's the LumenCache stuff. And as soon as I kind of hang up with you guys, the issue that I'm going to go solve is about LumenCache. So I can tell you about that. And then what else have we done? Oh, we poured some foundation up there for solar. Done a lot of, I've been connecting all of my Ethernet jacks, because I have remember I bought that switch, 24 port PoE switch, unmanaged PoE switch. So that would be fun. What's up with the video? They show power injection wires smoking because the gauge is not thick enough. How thick is the gauge, Michael? I don't know what video that is. Do you have a link? If you have a link, share it with one of the mods or somebody, and they can put it in the chat, because I don't think it'll let you share it in the chat. But any wire will smoke if it's small and you're putting a lot of current through it. It was 16 gauge, then what kind of current were they putting through it? It had to be huge current. I mean, you got to be, what would you guys think it would take to smoke a 16 gauge wire? I would think it would take probably 40 or 50 amps to smoke a 16 gauge wire. Oh, RG3. Do I know when the Pixel Pro will be back in stock? I do not know, my friend. I wish. Hey guys, can you turn it down or close the door, please? Let me mute for a second while I yell down at the kids. Hold on. There you go. It's okay. Sorry, guys. We had the kids are downstairs watching a show or something, so we had to. It's kind of loud. It echoes in here. Everything does. Okay. Hello, Alan. Ooh, Vin P says, "What is LumenCache?" LumenCache is a power over Ethernet lighting system. So it's basically a specifically made distribution panel that you run Ethernet wires from and go out to your lighting. And then you use LED lighting raw LEDs, not like a bulb that you buy at Home Depot or something. And on the control panel, you put in little switch modules if you're going to have an input, or for every input you have to have a little switch module that it interprets the input. And it can be motion sensors and things too, but basically it's going to be a light switch. And then you also have a driver module for every circuit that goes out and goes to several lights. So it's a pretty interesting system. PoE is 15 watts. There's difference. 15 volts, no. PoE is either 24 or 48. Title is Live from the wHobbit Hole, LED Open Chat. Love it. Thank you, Sir Goodenough. You're amazing. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. At 24 volts, to get smoke on a 16 gauge wire, I would think there is a short. You might be right, Brandon. You might be right. Maybe what they got was the positive negative hooked up or something. Switched. From Loma Linda, from the beautiful hill. How's it going, RJ? An auto mute function for your speaker. Oh, when I'm yelling at the kids? I want the ability to run my 1150 WS2811s at 100%, even though I will never, but still. You like over-engineering things, Michael. I see. Well, do the little tilde LED calculation that we just did in Discord, because off the top of my head, I can't tell you what your current draw is going to be. And are they 5 volts or 12 volts? That's going to be important. But yeah, you know, power injection. But power injection with 16 gauge wire at several places is going to be great. You know, if you can do the calculations and try and figure out where it's supposed to go. And that's a great way to do it. And for those of us that are big into the planning stages of things, you can do that. Figure out where your current, you know, what the total current's going to be. Figure out how much current you want to run through each pair of voltage injection wires, and then determine how many pairs you're going to need, and then where you're going to put them. Just split up things evenly and put them out there evenly. You could do that, or you can do it the way I would probably do it if I was really concerned about the current draw. Is I'd put it all together. I'd put maybe one power injection like at the far end or in the middle, something like that. So you get the beginning and then either middle or end. And I would put an amp meter on it, and I would turn them up all the way, because it's not going to smoke. I mean, you're not going to have 50 amps. It's not going to smoke a 16 gauge wire. I would be shocked. I would love to have somebody video if you can prove me wrong, but I think you'd be fine to hook it up, put an amp meter on it, find out what the current draw is, and then decide, oh, that's too much for this wire, you know, or you feel it. Is it getting hot? That's too much. In that case, you move to other things. So that's my way of backwards engineering, and that's why they don't let me be an engineer. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, let's watch this one. Oh, really? He was trying to burn some cables? Oh, nice. Let's see, can I open this in a different one? When I click this, it always, if I click this from YouTube, I'm going to do this. Open in a new window. Boop. Okay, so this is the one where somebody smoked a 16 gauge wire. What is happening? Boo. Oh, this was Quindor. Cut down part of a new live stream. Oh.
These terminals.
Oh yeah, he's got the new version of the Dig Quad.
These fork connectors.
When does he smoke it?
He started peeling back and breaking down, and yeah. There's scale on here. So those
are big wires, man.
Let's make it about 50 centimeters. This is from the power supply to the Dig Quad. So I think 50 centimeters is a reasonable value. So let's adjust my crimper to not make stupid long crimps. Or yeah.